Ataalamu maunduni akili yumeenda nthi ya Kenya itangaase thina taw'o wa Munene vyu na withiitwe uyothotheeya mauwau wasyo na itina ikw'u mbingi kumanwa na mauwau kivathukanyo. Munene amusindi wa itina wa kumina kikalo cha mithenya ili kunenanisya undu wa kukitana na mathina a akili ba Kenya ni maweta usungio wambe munene ni kwa ilovia mbingi nthini wa masipitali pamwe uiti we mwanya kukitana na thina hospitali ni ila nene na ila siandwani otondo mwandiku itu Benjamin Mwaka okuelesya.
Ene yanda na asomi nthino maundu ma mauwau Kiliko yani mental health nthino kikalo kinu makulya serikali ikilovia mbingangi nthino wa muvya witi sya kukitana mauwau maingi halamu manawana maundu ma mathina ma Kiliko utumani ula ingi makulya uvikiwe na uthiemewa nthino wa nthi atui.
There's a lot of stuff that we are learning every passing day about mental health and neuroscience. And yet, despite all this progress, despite everything that we are learning, everything that we are doing, people in the low and middle income countries continue to suffer a heavy burden of mental ill health and neurological problems, and we are not doing enough to address this.
Today we stand in the intersection of science, of policy, of compassion. Recognizing and addressing the complexities of mental health and brain health requires a very united and very interdisciplinary action.
Ukunikili we mwama muvya witi wa mwaka wa 2021 kuonanisye kana silingi bilioni 600 na ile katuno ile itumika kila mwaka kuungamia witi wa mathina ma akili ta muvwavwano kwasya viti wa kiuthukumi mawiyani na onangalama igukumana na kwivinia kwa thina wa Kiliko.
All of you are on the front lines, whether as clinicians, researchers, advocates, leaders, or policymakers. The challenges we face in the area of mental health are formidable, especially in East Africa, the developing world. Globally, mental health receives just 2%. Imagine that, just 2% of all health funding. And the figure falls to 1% in lower income countries, 1%.
Ni kumanwa na mauwau avalayu ene yanda ama vidwa kana thina uwa kwa mauwau Kiliko yani mental health ni uula munene vyu withiitwe ina maasya nthi mbingi na ila siende kuyana ni kwithwa kwa kilungu kinene utunga na itina kwatu wa nthi.
In the low and middle income countries where we have more than our share of stressors and difficulties, we have a lot of trauma, and where the availability of highly specialized therapists and treatments are unacceptably low.
This conference, therefore, has been put together to bring those of us from low and middle income countries together to think about what needs to be done to change this narrative in this country.
Kikalo kini cha kathiwa kwithwa necho hitambia mbevyu nthini wa savali ndasa na ina vila yukite ila serikali nene na ila sia kaundi sia ilo kwatana na kuikithia ni ya tanzia mwa kusesea na kusia ene nthi ainge maikoneka ni thina uwa kuvwavwana ki Kiliko.
In lower income countries, only a third of national health insurance plans cover mental health conditions such as depression, and there are just 2 mental health workers for every 100,000 people. So I think one of the outcomes that I think that all of you should debate is how do we increase the resource allocation to the low income countries.
Vilingo wa mauwau kumawamusini wa ilovi nye nito Benjamin Mwaka.